Some people are too available, too eager, too easy to get, and the world treats them accordingly. There's a reason why the rarest diamonds are worth more than common stones, even if both are just rocks pulled from the earth. Value isn't just about what something is, it's about how scarce it appears to be. Today I'm going to show you how to use the ancient, brutal, and highly effective principles of Niccolò Machiavelli, combined with modern social psychology, to create the illusion of scarcity around yourself. To make people want your time, your attention, your presence, and your approval more than they ever have before. This isn't about being fake. It isn't about being cold. It's about understanding the game of social value and playing it deliberately instead of by accident. Because here's the truth. Everyone is already playing this game. The question is whether you're playing it consciously or whether you're losing it without even knowing the rules. Let's begin. Part 1. The Machiavellian Foundation, 130-4. Machiavelli wrote The Prince in 1513, and the reason people still read it 500 years later is because human nature hasn't changed. Power, desire, status. These forces operate the same way today as they did in Renaissance Florence. One of Machiavelli's core principles was this: it is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Now, most people hear that and think it's about intimidation. But what Machiavelli was really talking about was emotional leverage. When someone loves you unconditionally, they take you for granted. When someone slightly fears losing you, they work to keep you. The illusion of scarcity is how you create that emotional leverage without becoming a tyrant. Machiavelli also wrote, "Men judge by the eye rather than by the hand," meaning perception is reality. People don't respond to what you actually are. They respond to what they believe you are. So the Machiavellian approach to social value isn't about actually being busy, actually being in demand, or actually being unavailable. It's about engineering the perception of those things and then letting human psychology do the rest of the work for you. There are 3 psychological principles that make this work. First, scarcity bias. People assign more value to things that are rare or difficult to obtain. This is hardwired into the human brain. Second, social proof. When people see that others want access to you, they want access to you more. Desire is contagious. Third, reactance. When people feel their access to something might be restricted, they want it more intensely. The threat of loss is more motivating than the promise of gain. These 3 forces, when combined, create a social gravity around you that pulls people in and keeps them in. Part 2. The first principle: control your availability, 4 o'clock to 7:30. The single biggest mistake most people make is being too available. You reply instantly. You always say yes. You rearrange your schedule the moment someone asks. And while this feels generous and kind, what it actually communicates to other people's subconscious is, "I have nothing better going on. I was waiting for you." That is the opposite of scarce. That is abundant to the point of worthless. Machiavelli understood that the prince who is always accessible becomes ordinary. The prince who must be petitioned, who has a court to pass through, who makes you wait. That prince commands respect simply through the structure of access. So here's how you apply this. Stop responding immediately. This isn't about playing games. It's about training people to understand that your attention is not on standby mode. You are not a notification waiting to be cleared. Let messages sit for hours, sometimes a full day. When you do respond, make it substantive. The wait primes them to receive it with more weight. Create a delay ritual. Before agreeing to any request, a meeting, a favor, a hangout, pause, say, "Let me check my schedule and get back to you." Even if you're free, the pause signals that your time is in demand, that others are competing for it, that you must look at your commitments before adding new ones. Stop explaining your absence. When you come back after being unavailable, don't over-explain. Don't say, "Sorry, I was so busy with X and Y and Z." That sounds like you're justifying yourself to them. Simply resume as though your time was obviously being used for important things, because in a high-value person's world, it always is. Reduce your presence, increase your impact. Show up less, but when you show up, be fully present, sharp, and memorable. People should walk away from time with you thinking, I want more of that, not feeling like they've had so much access to you that they're satisfied. The goal is to make every interaction feel like a limited edition experience, not an unlimited subscription. Part 3, the second principle, master the art of selective generosity, 7:30 to 11. Here is where most people misunderstand the Machiavellian approach. They think it means being withholding and cold all the time. But Machiavelli was actually very precise about this. He wrote that a prince should be generous, but not in a way that exhausts his resources or makes generosity expected. In social terms, this means strategic generosity, giving a lot to some people in some moments and very little in other moments, so that your generosity never becomes the baseline expectation. When everything you give is expected, nothing you give is valued. Here's how to apply it. Become unpredictably warm. Don't be consistently warm or consistently cold. Be unpredictable. Sometimes give someone your full, undivided attention and genuine interest. Other times be pleasant but brief. The inconsistency keeps people calibrating, trying to understand where they stand with you. And while they're calibrating, they're thinking about you. This is not cruelty. It's the natural behavior of someone with a full life. You don't have the same emotional energy every day. You're not performing consistency, but the effect is the same. Unpredictable reward schedules are the most psychologically compelling. Give powerful, rare compliments. Don't scatter compliments. Don't tell people they're great constantly. When you do give a compliment, make it specific, observational, and rare. I noticed the way you handled that situation. Most people wouldn't have caught that. That kind of compliment lands with enormous weight precisely because you don't hand them out freely. Create moments of exception. Occasionally treat one person with special access or attention, and let that be visible. Invite one person to something. Share something with one person that others don't know. When people sense you're giving them something exclusive, it elevates both the gift and the giver. Withdraw before they're satisfied. This is perhaps the most powerful Machiavellian technique in social settings. Leave conversations, gatherings, and interactions before people are ready for you to leave. End the call while they're still engaged. Walk away from the group while the energy is still high. Leave people wanting the next chapter, not relieved that the book is finally over. Part 4, the third principle, manufacture social proof, 11 o'clock to 14:30. No prince rules alone. Around every powerful person is a visible court. People who want access, people competing for attention, people who clearly value the relationship. Social proof is one of the most powerful forces in human psychology. When people see that others value you, they value you more automatically without even questioning why. You can manufacture this. Mention other relationships casually and naturally. Not as bragging. Bragging is low status, but organically. I was just talking with so-and-so about this. A few people have been asking me about that lately. I've been pulled in a lot of directions this week. These are not lies if they're grounded in truth, and they communicate that your social world is full and active. Be seen with the right people. Who you are seen with communicates your market value. Invest in relationships with people who are themselves high status, interesting, or accomplished. When others see you in the company of people they admire, they recalibrate their assessment of you upward. Instantly, let others vouch for you. One person talking about how great you are does more for your social value than you talking about yourself for an hour. Cultivate relationships where people naturally mention you, recommend you, and speak highly of you in rooms you're not in. This is the most potent form of social proof, the word that spreads when you're absent. Create a waiting room effect. This applies in professional settings, social settings, and romantic settings. The person who everyone is waiting on, who others are hoping will show up, who people ask about before they arrive, holds enormous social power. You cultivate this by being selective about where you go and what you commit to. When you do appear, make it count. People should notice your presence, and when you leave, people should notice your absence. Don't chase, be positioned. Machiavelli was very clear that the prince who chases creates the impression of desperation, and desperation is the most anti-scarce quality that exists. Position yourself. Let people come to you. And if they don't come immediately, trust the positioning and hold your ground. Part 5, the fourth principle, control information. Machiavelli understood that information is power. The prince who knows more than he reveals holds strategic advantage over everyone around him. In social dynamics, mystery is magnetic. Familiarity breeds comfort, but comfort, taken too far, breeds boredom. You want people comfortable enough to trust you, but curious enough to keep wondering about you. Here's how to manage information about yourself strategically. Reveal slowly and selectively. Don't tell your entire story in the first conversation. Don't share your ambitions, your struggles, your history all at once. Let information about yourself come out in layers over time, like chapters of a book that someone wants to keep reading. Every time you share something new about yourself, it feels like a reward, because access to you has to be earned. Keep your plans private. Machiavelli wrote, "Do not announce your intentions before you've achieved your goals." In social terms, this means don't talk about what you're going to do. Do it, then let people discover it. Nothing raises your status faster than someone finding out you've been quietly building something impressive. The contrast between the ordinary way people see you and the extraordinary thing you've been doing creates tremendous social impact. Speak with precision, not volume. High-value, scarce people do not fill silences. They do not ramble. They do not repeat themselves. They speak when they have something to say, and then they stop. This creates the impression that every word they speak has been selected, which makes people listen more carefully. Volume is common. Precision is rare. Be genuinely interested, not transparent. Ask more questions than you answer. Show curiosity about others while revealing little about yourself. This paradox, being deeply engaged while remaining somewhat mysterious, is one of the most compelling social combinations that exists. People will walk away from conversations with you feeling seen and heard, while simultaneously feeling that there is more to you than they've yet discovered. Use silence strategically. Learn to be comfortable with silence in conversation. Don't rush to fill it. Don't answer questions immediately. Pause, consider, then respond. The person who is at ease with silence commands the room, because silence makes everyone else uncomfortable. And comfort in discomfort is itself a signal of power. Part 6, the fifth principle, the emotional economy. Machiavelli wrote about the management of emotional displays with great precision. A prince who shows emotion freely gives away his reactions, and his reactions give away his leverage. In social dynamics, emotional regulation is one of the most powerful forms of scarcity you can create. When your emotional responses are not freely given, people work harder to earn them. Here's what this looks like in practice. Don't be the most excited person in the room. Enthusiasm that is freely given is not exciting to receive. When you're visibly more excited than the people around you about something, it signals that this thing is exceeding your expectations, which implies your life below the current level. Match or slightly underplay the energy around you. Be interested without being eager. Make your approval difficult to earn. When someone has to work to get a positive response from you, that positive response becomes enormously valuable. Be genuinely pleased when people earn it, but don't hand it out preemptively. The person whose approval costs nothing has no social currency. The person whose approval is noticeably rare has tremendous influence. Regulate negative reactions. When something bothers you, don't react immediately. The person who reacts immediately gives up their power. The Machiavellian approach is to receive information, pause, and respond deliberately. This keeps people slightly uncertain about where they stand. Not anxious, but calibrating. And while they calibrate, they're invested. Create emotional contrast. Moments of warmth and connection are far more powerful when they come against a backdrop of measured reserve. If you are warm all the time, warmth is unremarkable. If you are typically measured and controlled, and then you give someone a genuine moment of warmth and humor and real connection, that moment is memorable. That's what people tell their friends about. That's what they replay in their heads on the way home. Never be desperate for the outcome. Whatever you want, a deal, a friendship, a romantic connection, a job, your manner must communicate that you have other options and you'll be fine either way. This is the core of all social scarcity. The moment you need a specific outcome, the other party senses it and your value collapses. Cultivate genuine alternatives, have multiple paths forward, and let that security show in how you carry yourself. The warning and the ethics. Now, before we finish, I need to say something important, and I mean it. Machiavelli was not evil. He was realistic. And there is a version of everything I've taught you today that is legitimate, powerful, and builds real long-term value. And there is a version that is manipulative, hollow, and ultimately self-defeating. The legitimate version is this: you genuinely build a full life. You have real ambitions, real relationships, real projects that compete for your time. Your scarcity becomes real because you've made your life rich enough that your time is genuinely in demand. You regulate your emotions because you've done the inner work to become grounded and self-assured. You reveal yourself slowly because you know your own story is worth telling properly. That version of scarcity doesn't just create the illusion of value. It creates actual value. And the people who are drawn to it are drawn to something real. The manipulative version, pure performance with nothing behind it, is eventually seen through. People are smarter than we give them credit for. Manufactured scarcity with no substance behind it eventually reads as coldness, disconnection, or arrogance. And it attracts people who are themselves playing games, which creates a social world built on performance rather than genuine power. Use these tools to build, not to deceive. So let's bring this together. The Machiavellian approach to personal social value is built on 5 pillars. Control your availability. Your time must be genuinely or perceptually limited. Practice selective generosity. Give powerfully and rarely, not constantly and freely. Manufacture social proof. Let others communicate your value in rooms you're not in. Control information. Reveal slowly, speak precisely, maintain your mystery, and manage the emotional economy. Make your warmth, your approval, and your reactions worth earning. The person who does all 5 of these things consistently over time becomes someone that others talk about, think about, and compete to know. Not because they played a trick, but because they understood the deepest truth of human social psychology, that we value most what we cannot easily have. Start with one, master it, then add the next. And if this kind of content connects with you, the psychology of power, influence, and social dynamics, make sure you're subscribed because there's a great deal more where this came from. I'll see you in the next one.